Aloha, this is Neo. I'm in the Kihei School garden today, taking a little tour. Um, so if you want to see what's growing on out here, check out the video. When we first come into the garden, we've got some growing food in small space demonstration bags, our grow bags here. Basically, they are just bags of potting soil that we've planted a variety of things in. We know lettuce and kale grow really well in them. Right now, we've got some eggplant, got some parsley growing in that one. Looks like a little chard try to stay alive in the back there. Another bag here, which is growing a tomato. Wasn't sure that was going to work, but it's growing pretty well there. That's just a nice bag of organic potting soil. Poke some holes in the top, and away you go. Coming on over here, kids have been doing cover cropping since the beginning of the school year. This is a zucchini bean, I believe. One of our little cover crop patches here. Got a bunch of amaranth coming up there also. Planted once and you'll never get rid of it. So that we use for compost fodder, meaning we just kind of grow it for green waste to add to our compost sometimes. Come on around the garden, got a few random volunteer tomato plants that made it up over the summer. Our pepper plant patch here in our salsa garden, that's a Hawaiian pepper plant right there. That's one plant, but it's not producing many peppers. It's rather odd. It's been growing for quite a while now. Need to figure that one out. Right here is another little cover crop section. Not many of the seeds came up, but a few of them did. I think this is actually cowpea, black-eyed pea maybe. Very interesting how those beans grow off of there. It's got a really beautiful flower. And we got some random basil plants out here, little sunflowers, some more amaranth coming up. Another patch, another nice big patch of cover crop. We'll turn that in as a green manure. It's also a legume, so it's adding good nitrogen to the soil, and a nice little forest of amaranth there too. Looks like it's starting to seed. We'll need to pull those out of there pretty quickly. Papayas, we've just kind of let randomly grow around the garden. We mostly bring organic papayas in to do green smoothies, but sometimes we get some folks bringing some other ones. If anybody's asking about the GMO issue. Let's see, papayas, we got a more cover crop patch here. So our lemongrass growing there. We use the lemongrass in the garden as hose pools. We do them at the corners of the garden, like there and right there, so that we and the kids don't pull hoses over the rest of the plants. Lemongrass is a great plant for that. It wraps around the base of it, and you won't pull it over the rest of the plants. We've got beautiful, I think this is going to be a mandarin orange citrus tree right here. That was planted about a year and a half ago, and that's how much growth we got out. One spindly little stick in the ground. About a year, I guess maybe it's more like 2 years ago now. It's not putting off fruit yet, but it is growing like crazy. We give it lots of fresh compost, good fertilizer every 3 or 4 months, and a good slow deep water every 10 to 15 days. They really like that. I've got our patch of mammoth sunflowers growing over here against the school building, and again more amaranth coming up just wherever it wants to. These are sunflowers that we'll actually be able to harvest. The kids will be able to taste the sunflower seeds from those sunflower heads. That's always fun to do. Somebody's donated some coconut stumps for us. Not sure what we'll do with those yet. Maybe make some seats out of them. The maintenance crew here is very generous in giving us their bags of leaf composts. In fact, this past week they scraped all the leaf litter off of the tops of the school buildings, and we got about 60, maybe 70 bags that we were able to spread around the garden into our compost bin. Here is a lime tree. Again, this was planted, I guess, about 2 years ago. That's doing super well. We're actually got a few limes sitting on that. Again, another lemongrass. He's a little bit smaller, but again, one of our hose pools. And here's where we had strawberries in wiki beds planted on this. We pulled all those down. We're going to try another configuration of those. But strawberries did really well on the pallets, much better than they did on the ground here in Kihei. Let's see. Oh, got to show everybody, update everybody on the stand of banana trees right there. I'm not sure if you can get this there. That was one little tiny banana plant about 5 years ago. That is now a stand of bananas that produces, at any one time, it's got 6 to 7 bunches of bananas on it, and they are delicious. I think it's all that love and care that the kids put into it. You can see one of them right there. Oh, more random papayas. So here we kind of created a living border, a living fence, we're trying to, around the garden to kind of keep kids coming in proper entrances. Kind of gives them a little focus if they can come into one section of the garden. So we've got more sunflowers planted along here, a variety of them, some red ones, purple ones. Marigolds popping up here and there. There's our little taro patch. Didn't quite do so well this year. We knew better, but we planted it in the same spot 2 years in a row and just didn't quite do so well. So we've got a new spot for it this year. Again, more living fence here with our sunflower plants. Again, most of these, I think, some of them are those mammoth ones that the kids will be able to harvest, but the other ones are for cutting flowers. More papayas. Here was our old pizza garden that's now host to a little sunflower plant, papaya, random tomato. We got a little more cover crop here. Some basil still coming up from the pizza garden. We actually got an eggplant that volunteered and came right back up for us. Some more herbs past that. And let's see, coming around here to our nursery, we've kind of moved lots of things off of our nursery pallets here into our green bean tunnel. But these plants are our nursery plants all lined up here underneath the lilikoi, tomatoes, basils, lettuce. We use those for our, what we call our Project Plant It, plant adoption. We give the plants away at the YMCA program after school. We do accept donations for that, but for the most part it's free. We have the kids tell their parents how to plant the plants in the ground and take care of them. We also share with them recipes on how to actually cook with what they're harvesting from the garden. Again, this is kind of our little Hawaiian plant nursery. Actually, some folks have donated quite a few plumeria plants. Got some Hawaiian shrubs here, some more tomatoes there. Here's our green bean tunnel. Over the summer, we actually planted ipu, or some bottle gourds on this thing, and they're just going crazy. Here's our herb spiral. That's a fun little demonstration project. Kids really enjoy planting that out again. So let's see if we can see inside this, inside the bean tunnel here. Oh, yep, there he is. Nice big bottle gourd growing there. Got a few more coming out. And inside the bean tunnel, let's see, there's the bean tunnel. And we'll go inside here, and this is where we move over our plants in. They need a little bit more shade. It's been so hot down here in Kihei. More tomatoes, lots of basils, favorites of kids and parents, so they're easy to give away. And they're easy to care for. This is our brand new spot to be cultivated this year. It's going to be the new space for the pizza garden. Kind of broke down one of our beds we had in here between these other two box beds, and kind of cleared a new pathway through the middle of the garden over to the pizza garden. That's fun to divide up in pie slices and plant different pizza items in that garden. Always a favorite of the kids. Oh, look at this ma'o, just loving it right here. It's a Hawaiian cotton plant, beautiful, beautiful yellow flowers on that plant. And our sugar cane growing over here, as always, like crazy. If anybody knows or has access to a sugar cane press, we've got lilikoi that's going to be harvested in another month or two, and we'd love to make some lilikoi lemonade, lilikoi aid, I guess, with some sugar cane. Here's a spot. This is what we typically do in the garden for areas that we're about to turn into cultivated planting space. Is we over the months we layer leaves, compost, whatever else we've got in the garden, especially stuff that's coming from the school. You can see right there a fresh layer of probably about 3 to 4 inches of leaves all over this whole area. And bark mulch and other kind of things. We've actually thrown a little bokashi in there to kind of speed up the breakdown process for us. But we'll come back in with a tiller and till this whole spot up, and we'll be able to plant all kinds of things in here. But the Leaf mulch keeps the weeds out. Put a little bit of water on it. It's a pretty fast breakdown process. If you're interested in taking a spot of your yard with grass in it or weeds, just start layering your yard waste on it, or leaves and stuff. So here's our main compost bin right here. Like I said, we just filled it up with some green waste, layered it in with as much food scraps as we possibly can. Hawaiian Moon health food store gives us a very large box of leafy greens once a week, so we're able to fold that into our major breakdown compost pile here. And here's the back side of the tunnel. Oh, just a little sunlight there. And here's our lilikoi going all along this fence here. That most kids can't believe that's just one plant, but if ever there was an invasive plant, that would be lilikoi. Got to really watch it where it's growing. Here is our favorite part of the garden. Actually, it's the kids' favorite, it's teacher favorite. This is our talk story circle, where we try to start every session in the garden. Kids come out. We'll have a little review of what we're going to be talking about during the day. I think YMCA kids this past week looks like they were replanting some sunflowers for the plant adoption day. And there's the big tiller ready to go break up that new ground here as soon as I get off the camera operation here. Here's our picnic tables. This is the area we use for food demonstrations and for our classes during the day. We put up a canopy or two so the kids have a little shade. We're also trying to work on design for a bamboo framed shade structure that we can grow lilikoi or some other kind of fruit producing plant on it, something that's non-permanent. Anyway, that's pretty much a good view of the garden. That was 12 minutes. I hope it was worth your time. Aloha.